one of the legends, legendary singles wrestler and tag team wrestler, B. Brian Blair, known for the Killer Bees, but also known for B. Brian Blair. Brian Blair, coming up in the ranks in Championship Wrestling from Florida. How did you get your start? What was it like working that territory?
The Florida territory was awesome because, you know, you had people like Jack Briscoe, who was my hero, Buddy Colt, who I despised, however I babysat his children, and it just so happened that Eddie Graham and Mike Graham and Steve Kern and all these staples of championship wrestling from Florida used to come watch amateur wrestling, and they came and watched me amateur wrestle one time, and I talked about professional wrestling. My parents were divorced. I lived on my own since I was 16, so it was a big dream for me. All of a sudden it became a reality, and to be around those guys, Eddie Graham, who was a genius in the wrestling world as far as psychology and the business, teaching people the art of professional wrestling, Pat Patterson and Ivan Koloff and Don Morocco. Just, I could go on and on. There were so many fantastic, and then the feuds with Kendo Nagasaki, the feuds with Jimmy Garvin, the feuds with Hercules Hernandez, Ray Hernandez, so many different people. There were just Jesse Barr, when I popped out of a Florida chicken suit. A lot of people may remember that, but morphed into a big business for me and for the whole industry.
That's the thing, because obviously a lot of people remember your association with Jim Brunzell and being the Killer Bees and all that national and international exposure. But really, you worked a lot with a lot of good talent as a singles wrestler in Florida, in that territory, and the names that you mentioned, some of the greats. If you can express how much that helped your career, because you said you started out as an amateur wrestler then. So did they see you at an AAU type tournament or in a high school
Yes, in high school
event?
First.
Was it in the Tampa area?
Tampa area.
What school was it that you...
I went to Tampa Bay Tech.
So you went there and all. Did you also play football or just wrestle?
Played football, played baseball, track and field. I think I still have the record for the most letters ever at high school in Hillsborough County. It was anyway for Tampa Bay Tech.
Being that you were so athletic and working with all this different talent, is that what helped morph you into such a talent that you became?
I'm sure that's what had a lot to do with it. Professional wrestling is a combination. You have to be an athlete. Unless you've got some kind of a gimmick, like you're Andre the Giant, you know, 8 foot tall. You have to be an athlete, and you also have to have an outgoing personality because it's show business. Quite frankly, most of the people in wrestling attended college and have a degree, or at least attended college. And you know, I went to St. Neil College at the University of Louisville, and went on and built Gold's Gyms. I owned 4 Gold's Gyms in Tampa, Florida. Sold those. I love business. When I decided to leave wrestling full time in 1990 and just go to Japan, you know, 12 times a year, or I'm sorry, 8 times a year for usually 12 weeks, 6 weeks, 4 weeks, depending on whatever that particular tour was. Then I wanted to give back to the community. I've always been a person that believes if you can give back, you should. And everybody can give back, whether it's picking up some litter off the ground, whether you can go. I was fortunate enough to be able to be a recognized personality so that I could go to hospitals and go to schools. And I don't know how many schools that I haven't gone to in Hillsborough County anyway. And really,
and we're talking a large county too.
Yeah,
this is
1,078.2 square miles. There's 1.3 million people in Hillsborough County, and I just enjoyed each aspect of my life. The political career was an awesome career.
That's awesome, because you went into politics too. You had your wrestling dream and you succeeded, and then you did these other things as well. And part of giving back was getting involved in politics. How much much of getting into that and getting into the political end of it? Because we hear like politics and wrestling, but this is a whole different thing, I would guess. Politics with city government and things like county government.
County government, like yeah. Politics is a full contact sport. That's what I always say. It's rough. It's brutal. I mean, people lie. It's just like when you get ready to look at the amendments. Make sure you look and really read the language, because a yes vote or a no vote, if you're not sure, always vote no. And that's what I tell everybody. If you're not sure what an amendment is, vote no, because it's a special interest trying to do something. And most of the time, it costs you money.
And those amendments are long.
Yeah,
when you go to vote,
long.
They're very long. It's not like 2 sentences
Yeah,
and then you vote.
exactly.
It's long, so they're right. It can be tricky. You think you're voting yes when actually you're voting no, or vice versa.
Right. Exactly. So you know, a lot of people are stuck in the ballot box so long because they're reading these long amendments. So good advice is to read them at home before you go there. Or again, if you don't, I'm not sure what it says, vote.